Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Okay, we are back. We are doing what is called our guilty pleasures. This is where one of the hosts gets to pick one of their songs that is non-hard rock, non-metal. It can be from any other genre, but they have to explain themselves and justify why they have picked that particular song at the end. The other two people get to give their reaction first. So without further ado, we're going to go check out today's guilty pleasure. Neither one of us, apart from me, actually, so one of us at least knows what song's coming up and who chose it. But let's go check out today's guilty pleasure.
How melodic.
Okay, there we go. So that was Neneh Cherry and Buffalo Stance. This was KIRK'S guilty pleasure. So we'll come back to you last. Andy, you can go first on this.
And there's me being embarrassed about putting up Bomb Funk MCs last time round.
I know.
Wow, Kirk. Wow. I'm very familiar with this song. You know, I knew straight away who it was and what the song was. You know, having grown up with, you know, and living with people who aren't metal fans, who are pop fans, dance fans, hip hop fans. So, yeah, very familiar with the song. I don't think I've seen the video before, to be perfectly honest, but I'm very, very familiar with the song. Dave, you're probably looking at it and thinking, cool, that effect's rubbish. Cool, that's dated. That hasn't aged well. How have they done that?
It was the dancing in the background.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I don't know really what to say. I mean, it's one of them songs that probably many people know and are familiar with and actually enjoy. She looks good, great voice, interesting song. No idea what Buffalo Stance is. Perhaps Coke can elaborate on that. I'm sure he will. Yeah, it's the video sort of certainly timestamps when it came out.
Yeah.
Late 90s, I would imagine, mid to late 90s. I've no idea exactly. Yes, song I know well. If it comes on the radio, I certainly won't be turning it over. You know, heard it many times, very familiar with it.
Okay, so it came out in '88, and it sounds of a song that came out in the '80s. And like many tracks that we talk about from that era, even if it's metal tracks, they sound like they're '80s metal. And this sounds like an '80s pop song. Sometimes '80s pop songs can date very well, sometimes they don't. I think the chorus on this song dates fine. I think the bits before it haven't aged well. So like the verses, it's
terminology, gigolo, and you know,
the gigolo, and just some of the ad libs that she puts in. You're like, oh yeah, that you wouldn't get that nowadays. And I think it anchors it in its time of the '80s. If you were to release that now, it would be seen as a kind of comedic track, almost like a parody. It wouldn't stand up as well, but the chorus does. The chorus on its own has got some nice melody to it, so I quite liked that. I didn't like the video, but again, it's basically like many of the videos from the '80s. They look like '80s videos, and then there's a nostalgia to watching them. I just couldn't help but laugh about the women dancing in the background. They must have been pissing about dancing. They can't be serious. There's no way people dance genuinely that badly with their arms doing this in the air. Like, what were they on about? I have no idea.
Face to face, weren't they? They were sort of close like that, sort of doing this. Yeah.
But their movements were like they were about to fight each other, like battle robots or something. I don't know what they were doing. But I did like the chorus. The thing I did find was it's such a hooky chorus. By the end of the song, you're always singing along with it. It's very easy to get into. It seems like a song a bit about empowerment. And I'm sure Kirk will give us, as you said, about the Buffalo Stance and how this song has some native Indian connotations to buffaloes in the 1500s or some sort of nonsense that you'll come out with. That's some history of time. But hopefully you'll give us a bit more context. But yeah, it was a nice track. But it was quite funny. Well, I wanted to see when it came out because it sounds dated. And within a month of this coming out, Metallica's And Justice for All came out.
Wow.
Yeah. So...
Yeah. I was a decade out. I was 10 years out from that. But yeah, late 80s. Wow.
But then you're kind of like looking at it. I was trying to think of other metal bands and stuff. I was like, when did Pantera's like Cowboys from Hell came out? But they didn't come out for another 2 years till then. So I'm like, and actually around this sort of time, they were still doing their glam rock stuff for Pantera. So it's a weird time of music. There was such a big... That late 80s, from about 86 to 89, there's a huge transitional period from rock and metal that was having a massive switch change in stylization. And of course, in 1991 we started getting the grunge movement was then hitting as well. So we kind of had a huge change there. But I don't know what the transition was in like the pop world. And I guess was this R&B? Would this fit under? I don't know. I'm going to throw it to Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I can't give you some insight into the meaning of Buffalo Stance. I don't know. So I'm debating whether this is a guilty pleasure. I think it's a genius pop song. To me, what stands out about this, so it's 1988, and you've got this confluence of different genres really infiltrating the mainstream, and the main one you can hear in that is hip hop. You know that drum beat? That's called the Amen beat, isn't it, David? It's been basically all hip hop artists sampled that, didn't they? And I love how that beat. Did you hear Shula? She's exaggerating that New York accent in the rapping parts, when she said "off" and things like that.
Something
and then why did she do that like pseudo London accent in the middle eight? What is he like?
What's he like?
What is he like? You know what I mean? But
yeah,
the,
she
the,
is.
the chorus is so good because it just comes from nowhere. You're thinking, okay, it's just, it's 1988. Hip hop's infiltrating the mainstream. There's this wonderful synth arpeggiator at the end of the bridge that goes and I think that was sampled on the chart show. Do you remember on ITV, Andy? The chart show. You just come on ITV.
I remember the chart show. Yeah, sounds familiar actually.
I think they sampled it, so that it stood out for me for that. The middle eight, strangely enough, if you listen to the bounce to that, it's almost like new metal, but with a horn section. It's like you fast forward 6 years later, and the LA metal bands are playing that kind of groove, aren't they, as well? Listen to the melody as well and the uplift of the voice in that chorus. And there's also this subtle guitar sample in there, just playing 4 notes following it. And even that, what you think is the middle eight, that bouncy part where she's saying, do you know what I mean? And then there's another section, isn't there, where you get this synth.
Very Celtic Cross that bit, isn't it?
So let me give you the nostalgia story. So I do remember it from the late 80s. My dad would pick me and my sister up from school, and we'd go and collect my mum from work, and we'd have the radio on. And do you know that song S Express, theme from S Express? That was on at the time. And then also I revisited this in the early 2000s. Me and my friendship group back in the north, when we were drunk, we would always put this song on and try to sing it, but it had come across as almost like a hooligan type rendition. Unintentionally, we just can't sing. And I just have fond memories, early 20s, drinking, womanizing, thinking that at that age you are the current generation, aren't you? And strangely enough, we were going back to the 80s, probably not taking it too seriously with that. But yeah, fond memories, great song for me.
You said you tried to do a rendition with your friends. Let's hear "Don't You Get Fresh With Me."
No way.
Go on.
No, I've got a croaky voice. I can count it in. Don't you get fresh with me? It's the way that she goes up. Does she, right? I don't think she changes key for the chorus, does she? Because the rapping is just so monotone deliberately, isn't it? So when she goes to "No money man can win my love," that's not a key change. Am I right?
It's not a key change. No, she's the same key. She's just moving up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like she's just working up to the higher octave or the higher key. Well, yeah, the higher notes within that same key. She's staying the same correct way. There we go. So that was Neneh Cherry and Buffalo Stance. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.